And you're very welcome along to Trader Chat. We have a really busy and packed show today ahead of the Masters and the Grand National. Loads of offers for both of them, and that's going to be the focus of our chat today with Johnny Ward and Flynn Goward. Flynn has asked me to actually give a selection for both the National and the Masters. I'm not sure about either of them really, but I will give a selection for both. And my selection for the Masters literally never wins anything anymore. So maybe now is the time. Flynn, what's going on?
Well, what a sporting week we have in prospects here. You've got the 3-day Aintree meeting starting on Thursday. We'll be down there on course. So myself, Ben and Lofty will be there. And Hannah Baycroft will be with us as well, as who you'll know from Twitter. So do come down and see us on the track if you are up in Scousland. Fantastic punters in Liverpool in terms of just really lovely punters as well. It's a lovely place to go and bet. So I'm really looking forward to it. The last time we were there was 2019 when Tiger won his second national. And obviously the last national was behind closed doors, and then the one before that was cancelled. So having been there since 2019, it'd be great to get back. We've got the Masters Golf obviously getting underway on Thursday as well. We've got the Australian Grand Prix. You've got some fantastic football on Sunday. We are going to keep this show to just golf and just horse racing with the Grand National of the weekend. But we've got plenty of sport, and it's a fantastic week to be in the bookmaking industry and to be a punter.
Yeah, let's get straight to it with the Masters now. So there are a couple of offers here which are very tempting, particularly I think if you want to back something at a price. So if your horse, and probably will be a horse that I select, if your selection misses the cut, you get your money back as a free bet up to a nifty. That's one offer. The other offer is if your player is leading at the end of any round, we'll refund 50% of your stake as a free bet up to a oneer. That's 100 quid if they fail to win the tournament. Now, obviously, the cut is a more attractive offer, but you got to say now, if you are backing a long shot, an awful lot of these are going to miss the cut, Flynn.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, the miss the cut offer is obviously tailored towards, you would imagine, players towards the bigger price range. And then the this round is on us offer is tailored towards the people probably towards the head of the market that you think might lead at one of the rounds that might not go on to victory. So you can look at both ends of the spectrum here. And you can find an offer that suits either player really. If you're looking at potentially backing Tiger Woods, we think that Tiger Woods is going to be turning up. If he does turn up, then that miss the cut offer could look quite attractive because he could be a win-only proposition. But if you did want to back him each way, there's every chance he blows out with the obviously former leg injury that he's had. But he's just one potential player that you can look at for that potential offer. But there's loads to kind of get through here in terms of the Masters. Just having a quick look at the tournament in terms of a show of betting. John Rahm is your 10-1 favourite.
Tens the field.
Yeah, 10 the field about John Rahm, who's not the world number one anymore. We'll get on to the world number one in just a second. Justin Thomas is 12-1. Cameron Smith, 14. Dustin Johnson, 14. Scotty Scheffler, the world number one, is 14. Brooks Koepka, 16. Morikawa, 16. 16 McIlroy. Then you're 18-1 bar. So proper field. You're a 10 the field rather than single figures, which we've seen in previous years. So it's going to be a fantastic week, I would imagine. And
Would you compel me to actually back
anything? I've had a good old study up, to be fair. I wouldn't be the best golf judge in the world. I'm probably not selling myself too much here, but I will get onto some selections in a minute. But what I want to talk about first is just some of the other markets that we do have for the Masters. So that was the main market. But some of the other markets, so Glenn, our golf trader, who some people might know from the Racing Post podcast back in the day when we used to sponsor that. So Glennis the Menace has been hard at work this morning and for previous weeks. We've got the tournament winning score on site. So your favourite there would be each of three, actually, which would be 8 under or 9 under 4-1, 10 under or 11 under 4-1, 12 under 13 under 4-1, and then you can bet around that as well. Will there be a hole in one? 4-7 yes and 13-10 no. 4-7 yes probably feels a little bit big there because of that Sunday pin that they put on the par 3 on the last day. We've got the leading score after round one, which Glenn's actually put up this morning. So your favourite there would be 6 under, and that would be 5-2. I would probably want to play slightly higher score than that. So I think that 4 under might be a good bit of value at 6-1, even 5 under at 3-1. So it's around that range. There's loads of 72-hole matches on the site. You've got Rahm versus Thomas, obviously both towards the head of the market. You've got Johnson versus McIlroy, Morikawa versus Spieth, Scheffler versus Smith. You've also got some 72-hole threesomes. So with 3 players involved, again, all around the similar price range, but they're all priced up. Winning margins there. And then will there be a playoff or will there not be a playoff? If there's a playoff, you're looking at 4-1. If there isn't a playoff, you're looking at 7 on. So if you think it's going to be tied at the top come the end of the tournament, then you could be taking a bit at 4-1. But those are the specials markets as we stand. I know you're not a massive golf fan, Johnny,
No,
but have you heard any more around the Masters? Have you got any fancies?
No, we'll see. Just for example, those match bets. Like obviously, you want to put two golfers together that are roughly a similar price. But is there an angle in terms of lads that just are totally inconsistent? You don't know what to expect, and backing a solid alternative in that match bet.
I'm sure there is in here. Just trying to find one off the top of my head here. Just having a look. Fleetwood Horshall's an interesting one. I actually quite like Horshall, but Horshall's got a terrible record around at the Masters, so Fleetwood could be a better proposition there. It just completely depends, really. You could take on Hovland because his short game is not very good. He's a fantastic ball striker, but around Augusta, you need to have a good short game. He's playing Brooks Koepka. They're 10 to 11 each to 2. The ties in there at 16. So there will be plenty of angles to kind of get stuck into if you did want to delve into those match bets and not just play the main market as well. In terms of how the actual book looks at the moment, just having a look here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 losers in the book thus far. Obviously, when you bet 10 to field in these type of events, you are going to have more than one loser, especially at this stage, unless you get kind of one massive bet and kind of just throws it all out. But at the moment, Adam Scott would be a good loser for us. Louis Oosthuizen would be a big loser, very well touted round. Or Augusta was beaten by Bubba Watson in that kind of dramatic playoff where Bubba had to shape a massive hook from the kind of pine straw, and he got beat there, but he would be a loser. Billy Horschel, the aforementioned Billy Horschel, would be a loser. Tony Finau is up there as well. Patrick Cantlay from towards the front of the market. And then Scotty Scheffler would be a loser as well, who's obviously been performing fantastically. Won 3 from 5, I think it is. Won the WGC match play amongst other tournaments recently. He's been in fantastic nick. So those would be the losers as present, but I would imagine it would all change come Thursday. But in terms of selections, Johnny, go on and fire away with one, and then I'll reel a couple of names off for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Rory McIlroy because he's a compatriot, and I know more about him than almost anyone else, and he never wins anything. So maybe this is the turn. Before your selection, like how much of a betting heat is the Masters in terms of Star Sports kind of year, I guess, in terms of punting?
I don't like to judge the year and stuff like that in an event by event basis because for us it is really as big week on week, but it's a very big tournament. I mean, it's such a fantastic betting heat, and it's very attractive in terms of places and stuff like that because you obviously have a reduced field, and then you've got about 20 people that just can't win. So you take those out already with like Sandy Lar coming back and all those type of players. So you've got some that just can't win anyway. So if you're in 8, 9 places, we're actually 8 places of 5th in the market. So if you're taking 8 places with the offer that we've got as well, there's some fantastic value to be had for punters here. Just to talk about some details from the Masters this year and how it looks different to previous years. So I was just having a look at Golf Betting System a little bit earlier on, which is a website that has stats and stuff like that. And there's been some changes compared to last year. So just bear this in mind if you are punting. So the 11th hole has been lengthened 15 yards. The trees on the right have been removed, which encourages some more severe runoff areas for errant drives. And the first cut's also been removed there on the right-hand side. Now plays 520 yards, which is actually longer than one of the par 5s on the course, which is longer than the par 5 13th. So that's just one to bear in mind. And then the 15th hole, which is a par 5, has also been lengthened 20 yards. The first cut has also been replaced there with short grass, and that's the same with holes 9 and 10. So you could think that if you were just going for a player that has severe length off the tee, you may have to think a little bit more about accuracy this time. But for me, for the Masters, you need somebody who's a fantastic ball striker. To be fair, the whole package, because you need a fantastic ball striker because of the length. It's about 7,510 yards. It plays longer than that because they mow the fairways the opposite way to the hole direction, so it plays a lot longer. You need to have touch around the green. I think that's a massive one. I'm not massively fussed about putting, but it's more about around the green and being able to get up and down well. And I think that when I just have a look at a few very quick selections here, for me, towards the head of the market, Justin Thomas, he's been threatening to win all year. He is 12 to 1 with us. His ball striking's been A1 in his last few outings. He led after 2 rounds last year. He's never contended at the Masters, but I'd be very surprised if he wasn't banging the picture come Sunday. He's a magician around the green. His short game's absolutely fantastic. And when you play Augusta, you need to be able to hit that nice draw, and he can kind of move the ball both ways. So towards the head of the market, I would have him over John Rahm, who's kind of had issues with the flat stick this year, which I'll be a little bit worried about. You're taking 10 to 1 about him. Cameron Smith would be another one that I don't think will be widely tipped up. I think that JT will be tipped up by pretty much everybody, but I don't think Cameron Smith will be widely tipped up because he's a lot shorter price than what he has been for this in the past and previous tournaments. But since he's played here in the past, he's gone and won a decent event. He's gone very well round here before he chased DJ home when DJ won by a bit of a street. That was in the November Masters. He'll have to putt well to contend, but he never doesn't putt well. So if he's within that 5 to 6 feet range, you just think that Cameron Smith is going to hold absolutely all of them. So he would be another one towards the head of the market I'll be interested in. Then at bigger prices, I want to mention Corey Connors just for Glenn's sake. So Glenn, the golf trader, he's all over Corey Connors this week. He's another proper ball striker, really reliable off the tee, and his approach play is fantastic. The only issue he has is his short range putting, but I'm hoping that around Augusta, which he's done really well at previously as well, is that he'll just kind of lag putts around there and won't kind of knock them too far by. So the short ones won't be within that 4 to 7 feet range. That might be a bit difficult for him on these really quick greens. And then just one more quick selection now, massive price. I'll find the price of Corey Connors, which spoke about there. Corey Connors is 40 to 1. I would imagine Glenn's under him slightly because he does fancy him himself. Siwoo Kim would be the last selection for me. He's in there at 75 to 1. Has a great all-round ground. He completely took apart the Players' Championship a few years ago. He's a very frustrating watch because he can go birdie, eagle, double bogey, bogey. He is that type of player, but he's one when he puts it all together, he can be fantastic. He has a bit of a hot head. He managed to break his putter. I think it was on the 15th hole at Augusta the last time they were there, and he had to putt the remaining holes with a 3-wood, which I've actually had to do many a time after frustrations on the golf course. But I think at a decent price, he's probably worth a few quid each way. So JT, Cammy Smith, Corey Connors and Siwoo Kim would be the selections from me for the Masters.
Phenomenal stuff. You've given so many selections and a lot of background behind the selections there. And do remember to check out the Mystical and the Rounds on Us offer, particularly the Mystical if you are backing something at a big price. Just lovely to get your money back up to a nifty as well, which could obviously get you something else to be involved in over the weekend. And by that stage, you may have your money back for the Grand National, which is looking like a kind of a similar enough tens the field type event, if not quite to the Masters, but it's going to be very open. And just to mention our offers here, all over the place, get a 25 quid free bet if your horse finishes out of the place but completes the course. And Pipped is available on every race that will be on, obviously, on the TV on Saturday. You get up to 50 quid backs free bet in every race at Aintree if your horse finishes second, beaten by half a length or less. I don't know what you make of this, Flynn. It's obvious that Andy Second now has been kind of laid out for this. Obviously, he ran very well when badly hampered in the race last year. He has £7 more to deal with, which is an issue. Delta worked for me. I placed Latham at Cheltenham. I thought he was just basically gone at the game. And of course, he took to the cross-country fences like the proverbial duck to water. But this is a far, far tougher race.
It certainly is. And just a note with the all over the place offer, that is applying to the Grand National, the Fox Hunters and the Topham. So all races over the national fences during the Aintree meeting this week will qualify for that offer. So do get stuck into the other races on the Thursday and Friday as well. It's a really muddling race. I feel like the head of the market here. So you're 8 to 1 Delta to work, 9 to 1 any second now. Snow Leopard S has been well back in recent days, 9 to 1. Enjoyed the Len, it's 11s. Fiddler on the Roof, 11s. We are under that one. I'll tell you why in a minute. Claire Surf is 12 to 1. Ascaria 10 12. And then your 16 to 1 bar, that is Longhouse Poet. I feel like the ones at the front of the market, if you're not on anti-post, then you don't want to be on now. I have that feeling about them. I feel like 8 to 1 Delta Work feels short. He's running off, I think, 160. Okay, you could view he's well in because of the cross-country win, but don't forget he was racing Tiger Roll off levels around conditions that have been absolutely perfect for him with the rain coming. I think Delta Work would be a worthy favourite if the rain does come. We don't know whether it will or won't. I'm hoping for my clothing's sake that it's going to be a dry week as opposed to a wet one because it's pretty miserable standing out there. But Delta Work will want the rain. Any second now, again, the same applies. I think if you're not on at the anti-post price, I wouldn't want to be on now. Snow Leopard S looks short. I mean, even if the rain does come, I can't see her being around 9 to 1. That just feels really short about Snow Leopard S for Charlie Longston. When you get a little bit bigger, in terms of what the book looks like, Fiddler on the Roof would actually be a big loser for us here. So Fiddler on the Roof is a 6-figure loser already for us. So we've obviously not even got into the kind of final declaration stages yet. And we're already staring one down the face of a 6-figure loser. You can see that we are under in the market. We are 11 to 1. There's probably a little bit bigger out there. We laid at 33 to 1 back in February, then 16 to 1, and now we're 11s. Eclair Surf is also a loser. That was on the back of the Scottish National at the weekend, because Eclair Surf, the time before that, I think it was in the Ida Chase, come second to Win My Wings, who absolutely hacked up in the Scottish National. Yeah, so good. Absolutely hacked up. So he's been well back to Claire Surf. And also because this forecast rain, there's been lots of talk about it on Twitter. And Leclerc Surf will obviously love those conditions. So if the rain does come, then he could be even shorter. We've laid that lumpy at 33-1, 18-1, now a 12 poke with us Leclerc Surf. So that one's been well backed. And then the Rasher counter would be another small loser in the book. We've laid out a few times at around 66. That is now 33. So that's double carpet, halved in price. So those would be the three at the moment that they're really come for. But again, look, come the day is when we lay the kind of really big bets. Say we're anti-post at the moment. And I would imagine that we'll see money for the ones towards the head of the market, and that book will change. But those are the losers in the book at the moment. We are a quarter four at the moment. When we do get to the day, I would imagine we'll probably extend that to a fifth, maybe 5 or 6 places. We'll have to wait and see how it all kind of turns out. And we'll also have a lot of derivative markets to get involved with. So we've actually got a tool now where we can create these derivative markets. So betting without a favourite, match bets within the race. We can create sub races. So we'll probably do best Irish train runner, best GB train runner, best 8-year-old, best 9-year-old, best 10-year-old, and all that type of stuff. So do have a look at those markets when we do get them up as we get closer to the race and we get final declarations. We actually priced them up for the Scottish National at the weekend. We saw some decent traction across those. So do take a look at those when we do get them up for the Grand National. In terms of the selection, the one that I like in the race isn't right towards the head of the market, but it's in that kind of bracket, and that's Longhouse Poet.
Same as. There you go. It's like
there you go.
Yeah, he bombed the last day, but on that Goward form, and he's still relatively likely race as well.
Well, twice of the races beyond 3 miles, he's one going away. Doesn't seem to do a whole lot in front as well, which I quite like because that kind of protects his mark. He beat Run Wild Fred and Franco Deport in the process. It was a hurdle run last time, so I'd kind of just take that one off the list because it was probably to keep him ticking over, even though he was kind of being favourite there. Runs off 154. He's very unexposed, and he actually beat a very good horse in a bumper towards the start of his career. Can you remember what that horse was? On good ground, good ground bumper.
No.
None other than Monkfish.
Yes, Monkfish. Often Monkfish.
Yeah, so if we're talking about a potential graded horse in this race, and look, we know that the Grand National, we need to be looking at proper horses these days, the way that they can press the handicap, and you want to be probably towards the top of the weights than the bottom. I think he's number 12 in the list, run off 154. He could be a graded horse in here. So I really like the shape of Longhouse Poet. And then one that's slightly bigger.
Master of his craft as well, who obviously trained number 612 early as well. So no worries in that score.
Well, there you go. So previous form in the race as well for Martin Brazel. The other one at slightly bigger price would be Good Boy Bobby at 40-1. That's for Nigel Twiston-Davis. He will get a run because he's number 20 in the list. He's a very bold jumper. The type that I can see taking to the test. He's not massive, but the way he jumps and he's very neat on his feet, a little bit like Tiger Roll. So I think that he could take to the test. He seems to have been given a bit of a spin last time just to keep him ticking over. Runs off 150 here. Stayed on really well to beat Lord de Menil over 3 miles. He's a proper stayer at Wetherby. There is a question mark whether Good Boy Bobby will stay. He's never been beyond that. And he does look a bit more of a classy type, to be honest, I think. And he's quite nimble. But I think that this will proper suit him. And even if you wanted to back him to lay him in running, because I think he'll be towards the van and he'll just kind of ping out. He could be like another Jet from last year, when Jet kind of pinged off and traded short in running. Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me if Good Boy Bobby did that. But I think he's worth a play at 40-1. And then, like yourself, Johnny, Longhouse Poet at 16s. But that is how the entry Grand National is shaping up at the moment. I just hope it doesn't rain. Fingers crossed it doesn't rain.
Yeah, like it's not the jumping test it was at all. So a nimble horse is fine, and they kind of can brush through them. Enjoy Dallin is very interesting. Because he has really, really solid form in Irish handicaps, and what a story for Kieran Murphy were he to win the race. Obviously, JP McManus has acquired that horse. It's a race I don't particularly like betting in, even though the rest of the country has a bet on the day. I think it's difficult. But if you were to have an each way bet in the race, check out the offers on the website. A couple of offers as well. Yes, no Grand National competition, free to enter, and you can win a 250 quid bet. And I did want to remind as well, Star Sports are up for 3 awards: favorite betting website, favorite betting writer. Quite a few interesting options there, actually. Favorite betting video content creator. They're the Smart Betting Club Awards for 2022, and Star Sports have been nominated for 3, and you can vote. Just check out the website on the right-hand side. You'll see the link. Have you ever backed the winner of the National, Flynn?
I've bet more winners of the National than I reckon any other race, to be fair, weirdly. But it's still not a huge number. But I'm obviously only 25 years old, but I think the first one was probably Hedge Hunter back in the day. I bet Tiger after he won his cross country around 33-1, I think it was. That's a massive trumpet, so apologies for that. But I've had quite good. Yeah. It's one race I've actually been very lucky in. Whereas the Gold Cup, I can't find the winner of that for love nor money. But Grand National, I've actually been fairly lucky. So hopefully Longhouse Poet does the job.
Gotta just briefly mention updated Premier League betting. No great change, I imagine. Man City 4-9, Liverpool 13-8. Hard to believe we have a title race like that, and we obviously have lots of offers in top 4, top 6 relegation, so on and so forth. But yeah, that'll be heating up in the near future.
It certainly will. I mean, the game on Sunday is absolutely huge, isn't it? You've got City versus Liverpool on Sunday, so that market could be turned on its head. So loads to look forward to in terms of the Premier League. Just in terms of the supporting races, quickly from Aintree, just in terms of a couple of movers. So on the Thursday, Warlord has been well supported for the Manifesto Novice Chase into 5-2 from 11-4. Brazil has been well bet at 5-2, now 9-4 in the Juvenile to beat Pied Piper. And then Fakir Derry is a well bet favourite, anti-post for. That is for the Marsh, I think, on the Friday, into 6-5 from 6-4. There have been 3 defectors from the Grand National, which were announced today. Off the top of my head, Chris's Dream, the top weight is out, which means that Manila Times will be top weight now. Chatham Street Lad was another one. I can't remember the last source, but it means that a couple more get around. I think up to 43 in the list now. Highland Hunter was the one that came out, so maybe 43 in the list, I think, are the ones that get in. It'll be interesting to see if some of those above that do get in, because Eclair Surf, who is a loser in the race for us at the moment, is number 47, I think. Fortescue will have quite a live chance. I think he's number 48. Schoolboy Errors is around the 50 mark. So they will need quite a few to come out, but if they did end up running, they could be pretty short in the betting.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see that money for Fakir Darius and Brazil. So JP is obviously going for a few touches across the weekend, and he has that big runner in the shape of Enjoy Dalen in the national. And I've just seen that June Brown, better known as Dot Cotton, has passed away, age 95. Flynn, what a sad note to end Trader Chat today.
Well, yeah, exactly. And my Mrs. Esme is actually a massive EastEnders fan. And when we started recording this, I saw a WhatsApp come over just over your face on my phone saying Dot Cotton's died with a sad crying face emoji. So I'll have to go downstairs and console her in a minute. But yeah, not a great way to end the show, and not the best way that I thought that we were going to end the show, to be honest. But if you are punting this week, obviously gamble responsibly. If you do want to come and have a chat with us on the course, then do. Myself, Ben, and Lofty, and Hannah will be there, and Simon will be roaming about somewhere as well. So do come and have a chat with us, or call through to the office, speak to one of the traders, and we're more than happy to help you out if it is one of your first bets. Obviously, the Grand National attracts those type of punters. So if it is one of your first bets, you want to speak to a trader at the end of the phone, or want to come into one of our shops, we'll obviously try and help you the best we can. Yeah, and check out the website. Loads of offers there. And obviously getting to 95, I'd certainly love to get to 95. I think that should be celebrated. I think you might have a better chance than me, Flynn. But more babies on the way. Maybe it'll age you. Who knows? Oh, I don't know. You seem to be cycling every now and then now. So I would imagine you're probably a little bit fitter. And can we just talk about where you actually are at the moment?
I'm in Antibes, in the south of France, yeah.
Look at this.
Fortunately, we're leaving today. I arrived, kind of left in Ireland when it was more or less a heat wave, and arrived here and it's been actually very cold by South France standards. But what a spot! Past the Hippodrome, Cansumer racetrack as well. So didn't quite pop in, but maybe next time. It's a beautiful racetrack right on the coast. It's meant to be absolutely lovely. Obviously, Sumer means on sea, doesn't it? So. Yeah, there you go. So I think Lofty actually went to Canterbury and said it was absolutely fantastic. So definitely one to visit if you do have the time, Johnny, I reckon. Thanks for your time, Flynn. Thank you. Yeah, that was a busy Trader Chat, the Masters, the Grand National coming up this weekend. Check out the website for more. We'll talk to you next week.